They call me White Devil, Black Jesus, heaven closing, hell freezing, egos tripping, scripts keep flipping. Do you know? Do you know? Do you know what it feels like? Loving someone that's in a rush to throw you away. Do you know what it feels like to be the last one to know when the door is changed?
All right. Welcome to Educated Guesses, episode 3?
Yeah, I think so.
I think so.
Yeah, you gotta take me off the present mode.
No, I like you full screen. I'm Spencer with the Pittsburgh Steelers.
And I'm Nathan with Jacksonville Jaguars.
And Travis is having a little bit of issues with his internet, so he might be popping in and out, and I guess we'll see if he shows up.
Yeah.
So I think he spent about 20 minutes trying to get his internet working. He got it working, and he was in here for a grand total of probably about a minute and a half before he lagged out.
So unfortunately, it might just be me and Spence tonight.
Unless we get an educated guest. Which, I don't think anybody stepped up to the plate.
Nobody ever stepped up to the plate.
No.
Except for D. Jordan.
What?
So except for D. Jordan.
Yes.
Okay.
So it's what are we? 2 weeks out from today for the draft?
I believe so. Travis joined. Brad said 14 days.
Couple hour or two?
Yeah, hour ago maybe. So.
Yeah.
14 days. So we're 2 weeks out.
Okay. Yeah, I'm not even sure what time it starts, but I just realized I got rid of my cable, so I'm not sure how I'm going to be able to watch it.
Huh?
They might stream it online? I don't know. If anybody knows, please let me know. But I'll figure something out. Travis, welcome to the internet.
I'm having to employ such awesome techniques as jamming a fan behind the modem to try to keep it cool. Because my dad thought it would be cool to store it in like a tiny little cupboard up in fucking space, so it's the hottest shit ever.
Isn't space really cool?
Yeah, it's like, fuck off. All right. I'm in no mood for your science technicality shit.
Oh, God.
Alright, so what did I miss?
You missed the video, which was a shot at Mr. A.A. Ron for his comments earlier today.
Gotcha.
Do we want to address those first, or?
I just suggest that we just put it to bed and we just don't rehash it. That was just the final stab, or final nail in the coffin, I guess.
Okay.
So I don't know if we want to I think it's just an issue we just leave alone and we let the league handle. So if you follow the IFL announcements and the commissioner bot, AA Ron has already been suspended for a significant amount of time. So
all I know is a lot of those motherfuckers are real sensitive. That's all I got out of it.
I didn't see what happened. I was real confused, and then Nathan had to fill me in.
It was an interesting day in IFL history, to say the least. So
yeah.
Anyways, let's move past that subject and let's move on to some actual relevant material. So I went through Luke's rank. As you all know, Luke's rankings came out in the past couple of weeks for both AFC and NFC, or not rankings, but his mock drafts, which applaud him for doing 2 rounds of mock drafts. That's pretty good, and that's a lot of time to especially go through every team's roster and kind of figure out their needs. So what I did was I just kind of went through and kind of did a ranking system on who he ranked at each position, or who he had going first at each position. And there were a couple of discrepancies which I didn't quite understand, because you think in a mock draft before the NFL draft, before anyone knows where each player is going, that he would be pretty consistent. But he had at least 3 players that were different between the AFC and NFC, and I kind of questioned that. I didn't understand why he did that, but I just was wondering if you guys wanted to talk about that at all, and what your guys' thoughts on the little spreadsheet I created.
I think it's obviously a pretty impressive mock draft. I'm not much of a college football fan. I watch a game here and there. I don't really follow them too much until probably about a week out before the draft. So I have started to do a little bit of research. And you can make fun of me or hate me for that, but I just don't have time to watch college football. So I cram a bunch of research in at the last minute, and it's my opinion, especially for the first couple rounds, it's a little bit more where they go and not the player, in my opinion. The later rounds, I believe it's more on talent and when they'll come around to start and all that. But the first couple rounds, I think, are just half player talent, half opportunity. So I think it's a little bit of a moot point before the draft.
I tend to agree with Spencer. I mean, really all you can do is evaluate them, based on how good of a football player they are.
Well said. Can I just present him?
Maybe.
Oh, damn. I wanted that ridiculous face. Well, I don't know where Travis is going with that, but I'm assuming it was something along the lines of he wants to trade away all his picks because he doesn't like college players. He only likes old men. I imagine that's what he's going to say. Your thoughts on scouting college players?
I think it's a pretty necessary skill. I think that. Sorry, I was just responding to Luke. He didn't understand my criticism. I wasn't criticizing. I just was wondering, why, if we if you don't know where the player is going, I guess the one thing I saw was that you had Jordan Howard and Jonathan Williams, slightly different in the NFC and AFC, and so I was just wondering what the thought process was behind each of those, just to make sure, because I just assumed that if you were doing a pre-draft or pre-mock draft before we know where the players are going, that you would have like a consistent ranking, and so I would just assume that you would apply a basic ranking system. But there were two big differences, or not two big differences, but two players that went earlier in one mock draft than the other, and then you had Paxton Lynch, which is more. I can see that more because you said the team needed a QB, and you already had the other two going. Yeah, so I was just curious on that. So that was it.
Yeah, he says he had those players ranked fairly close together, which makes sense. And like we mentioned before, it's going to be a little bit more of an opportunity of their environment to see who truly has that higher ranking.
But again, I'm not criticizing your work. I just think that I was just wondering just about that. I think
NFC and AFC?
Yeah, he did both NFC and AFC. Did both NFC and AFC 2 rounds, and he had brief little blurps about why that team would make, or why that player would make an impact on that team, which was, again, credit to him. That takes a lot of time. So if you guys haven't, thank Luke for those mock drafts, and I think Mark is going to come out with 2 mock drafts, so you guys should be looking forward to those.
So some people were looking to join up this. I just fired off that link for them to join. I don't know how much, Matt, we can handle, but I'll be interested to see what Decker has to say.
Too much. We don't need any more tight tees in here. We're already at a limit of 0. So.
Oh shit! And Travis is in here, so we're.
Travis has baby gap clothes, so.
But they're not tight on him.
Okay, so. Oh boy, Matt's forehead. Oh, who's that?
They're muted. I don't know if it's on purpose or not. But.
Of course, Matt's drinking. Go figure. That's not new. Anyways, so we got to big. Oh, we posted the wrong link. We got the big.
I meant to do that.
Big trade today between the Rams and the Titans. So here's the trade layout. So the Rams gave up the 101, the 4th round, the 113th pick, the 6th round, 177th pick, and then Tennessee got the 115, 2 seconds, a 3rd, and then next year's 1st and a 3rd. What did you guys think about that big trade?
Sorry, I'm too busy making fun of Matt and Becker. Watch this shit.
Can you guys kiss or something? Because,
touch cheeks or something.
Yeah. At least share the same or put the right ear thing in. If that's Decker, he's got the wrong ear plug in.
I gotta show you this song by Armor for Sleep. It's my favorite one.
Hey, shut your yap trap. We'll come in here. We'll take over this goddamn show. Yeah, I'm looking at you, Travis.
Dude, you don't have to fucking try very hard to take over from the guy whose internet is just shitting out nonstop.
Alright, it's cool. I'm muted.
Yeah.
There's a lot of background noise.
Yeah. Plus, it's Matt. He's already got his own soapbox to sit on. So, so what do you guys think of that Rams?
Picture, he looks pretty short.
What?
So judging by that picture, he needs a soapbox because he looks pretty short.
He is pretty short. Look at the guy leaning over. He's like one of the little dwarfs from Lord of the Rings.
Spencer, you listen to me, you fucking half-dome, moon fucking motherfucker, alright? I will come...
I got you.
Alright. We're muted.
Alright. What I think about the trade, I think that the Rams gave up way too fucking much for, I mean, all the fucking scouts and analysts have been saying forever that these 2 QBs, the top 2 QBs in Wentz and Goff, are not going to be startable day 1. They're going to be like, you got to sit them for a bit, let them get acclimated to NFL speed. And I feel like that's not going to happen with the Rams. I mean, I guess maybe they start Case Keenum for a year before they let the other one start, but I don't know. It just seems like a lot to give up when neither of the 2 prospects are really, like, all that great. Like, if it would have been for, like, Andrew Luck or something, okay, I get it. But for Carson Wentz, what?
And from what I've seen, it, and again, I'm no college expert, but it sounds like these are the best quarterbacks in the draft, but they're not kind of a once-in-a-generation. That is a very close picture of that tight T.
We get hit with the nipple cam. Innovative.
But like I was saying, from what people who know more about college than I do say that these are the best players in the draft right now, but they're not the most talented in a decade or something like that, where you would give up a arm and a leg for a franchise quarterback.
I have watched Carson Wentz play. Being that he plays against our alma mater, once a year. The only knock that I mean, granted, people have his knocks, but from what I've heard, everyone's just saying this year doesn't contain an Andrew Luck. Yeah. But Andrew Luck was by far one of the most NFL-ready quarterbacks coming out. But what's the knock on Wentz? I don't see, other than the fact that he played at a D1 AA school, what was the big knock on him? He's got the arm strength, he's got the consistency. I know his deep ball, I think, has been questioned as far as how much it was completed, but you got to remember the wide receivers he's working with at the D1 AA level. So what's the big gripe on Wentz? I can understand Goff not being completely NFL ready, but I haven't understood why people are attacking Wentz when, to me, he looks like he's one of the most complete quarterbacks that we've seen recently. I would have taken Wentz over Jameis Winston.
I guess I don't know that people are necessarily attacking Wentz. It's just he hasn't played against like the level of competition that a lot of QBs going into the NFL have played against.
And that's true, but every year they have to play. I mean, they've played with, they have to play one top-tier team, not top-tier, but one level above them each year, and he's done well. So, I mean, granted, he's not playing on a consistent basis, but I don't see the hate on him, I guess. I don't see what's the reason.
I think probably one of his biggest redeeming factors is he had a really good Senior Bowl, and that's basically playing with some of the highest level talent. Granted, you're not playing against the schemes and systems that you're used to playing at the college level, and almost a little bit of like a Pro Bowl type scenario where you don't have a ton of time to practice. But I think that kind of gave him a little bit of a bump in his draft stock. And I don't think that, to be honest, that the Rams are going to go for him. I think they're going to go with Goff, California guy. I think they
came out today and said that that their main target was Wentz.
There's been conflicting.
I heard
reports.
both reports. I think it'll be Goff. They not only did they want to get a quarterback, but they're moving to LA. They want to make a splash. They want to be news and headline worthy. And I think kind of contains some more buzz in the market. Trading up obviously is a huge news, and then picking the local or somewhat local guy, and that's just my opinion. I think it'd be an interesting scenario if they took Carson Wentz, coming from North Dakota to being the first-round pick. If they traded a bunch for moving to LA, brand new market, brand new franchise, that's gonna be a lot of pressure if that's the case.
And you don't think that pressure is going to be on Joff, Mr. Tiny Hands?
I'm just saying he's in the area already. He's not coming from fucking middle of nowhere to LA. I don't know. It's not a huge thing, but from like a marketing perspective and all that, I could see. I know that shouldn't play a factor into it, but I'd say it probably does. It's just like the movie. I think actually Mark said it. It's just like I think it was Mark or somebody said it's just like the movie Draft Day where they made that big trade to get the first overall pick to get the quarterback to kind of get some more buzz into the team, and I think it's not too far off of this situation.
I don't know. I still think I'm going to go Wentz over Joff. I understand the whole, like, you want to make a splash, but to me, he's going to – Joff may be more NFL ready at this very moment, and he's agree, he's in the area. But if you are going to tell me right now if we were looking at the future, who's going to have the better career, I'm going to pick Wentz over Joff.
I think it depends a lot on what team they go to.
I'm just saying, overall.
I really don't think either of them are worth 1 or 2, but one of them will go there, at least. So, I don't know.
Okay. Well, I mean, we've had, if anyone else has any comments, questions, I know Luke wants to hear some thoughts on why Aaron was wrong. And then Decker versus Kurt, but I don't think we want to hash that out on our show.
Nah, we don't want to have a big, long race debate on here. That doesn't sound fun to me.
I don't like NASCAR.
All right. The next topic on here, I think Travis put it on here, was Percy Harvin retirement.
It wasn't really a discussion topic. It was just, something that happened today. might have got lost in some of the bigger news. But
do you want to elaborate on this? Why this made our hey
man, it was a brainstorming page. We didn't have to do it.
We did show prep. We have a document of what we're going to talk about. So
I should have put a
Travis,
question mark
how did
after
you
it.
put Percy Harvin's retirement on the showdown?
I don't know. Did anybody even draft him?
I think somebody did.
Maybe
Man,
get out of it for free, but
what's this world coming to? First Kobe, now Percy?
I mean, Percy's only 27, man, and he always had such talent.
Oh my god. I looked
But, like the dumbest head on his shoulders.
the NFL, like at NFL on Twitter, tweeted out a thing that says like "Happy Retirement, Percy," and they tweeted like the one fucking good thing he did for the Seahawks in that punt return.
That punt return touchdown.
When they're up by like fucking 25 points, it's 25-0.
Why wouldn't they show like some of his Vikings highlights when he's like actually a good player, like his rookie
What
year
did
and
they show
stuff?
him sitting on the bench?
I don't know. It's just I don't know. It's weird to see all these players retiring earlier because of like injury risks and injury concerns. Could be a trend. It's seeming a little bit like a trend. Something to think about, I guess, when you're drafting the more injury-prone players. Even if they do have high upside.
Yeah. Sounds like Luke's is getting pretty upset about some stuff here.
He doesn't want to hear about NFL analysis because he doesn't get enough IFL. So
He was getting upset.
he doesn't get enough IFL news from all the other shows, so including his own 2 shows. So because we talked about the NFL, we're bad.
They're staying on script regardless of ratings.
Yeah, we don't care about ratings. When have we ever cared about ratings? We're the #1 rated live video show. But when have we ever cared?
Also, like,
Riddle me that, Luke. Riddle me that, Casey.
come on, Luke. We don't want to talk about stupid fucking
Yeah.
drama that erupted off one fucking offhand comment. We don't sort that shit out.
You want to talk about
Some of the
ratings?
time.
Do it on your own show, but we're not going to do it here. So take it on your unicorn show and do it there. But it's not come on here. So anyway, moving on. Enough about Percy Harvin's retirement. We're going to talk a little bit about. We have a question from Josh before we move on to our next topic. He asked us to pick the division winners in the AFC and NFC North. So what are your guys' thoughts on just early pre-draft picks here in both NFC and AFC North?
I'll let you guys go first.
All right, I'll start. AFC North, I got to go with you, Spence. I think Danny and Matt are close. Matt's defense isn't super inspiring to me. He's got a couple good players like Telvin Smith, but overall it's a little bit lacking, I feel. I think, Spencer, you had the best overall team. Danny's, like I said, Danny's close too, but I got to get to you.
And then NFC, Travis?
NFC, I got to go with Barry. I like Barry's team a lot.
Okay.
I'm not going to elaborate at all.
So for AFC, I had debated between Spencer and Danny. I'm not a fan of John's team, the winning you're in, John. And Matt's team, not a fan. He's only got one relevant linebacker. And I think just to be different than everyone else in the show, I'm going to go Danny. I think it's real close between them, but I think Spencer has a lot more tight ends, which could pay off. But I'm going to pick Danny for AFC, and then for NFC, I'm going to go Nick. I think he's got one of the most all-around teams there. I think Barry's pretty close. Mac is right there. And I don't even remember the other owner's name. That's how much I care about him. So, Spencer?
Oh, in the AFC, it was tough. I agree. Danny does have a good team, but Jesus, his linebacking core is fucking ancient and short as far as depth. He's got 2 guys over their 10th season, and those are by far his best 2 linebackers. So I'm gonna have to give myself the edge. Matt seems alright, and sorry, John. Going over to the AFC, I kind of thought it would be a little bit of a closer race, but I got to go with Nick. He's got some stud running backs. Wide receivers a little shallow as far as great wide receivers outside of T.Y. Hilton. We'll see what Calvin Benjamin does, but I really like Delaney Walker. He's got a pretty solid defense. Not overall a huge amount of depth at some positions, and way too much depth at some horse shit. But I like his team overall. And Barry, I know you got a pretty decent team, but I'll try that 5 wide deal, and it doesn't work out that great.
Okay. Well, let's go to a couple other questions. I guess we could talk about IFL trades since we've seen quite a few, but we do have some IFL, some educated guesses questions. So this first one, I'll let you two answer first. Who are each of you most looking forward to playing this year, and explain your reasoning?
Besides you two, which I hope I get to play, Matt, just because I'll get to hear it twice a year or twice a season on whatever show he's doing. Pretty much anybody with the show, just because people like to talk a bunch of trash, especially when it's going against another radio show or video show. So obviously you two guys, and then
Pre-recorded radio show versus live.
yeah, that's a whole nother deal. But do we want to beat that point to death again?
No.
Oh.
We will if Matt
It's
tries.
like every time the show is brought up, he's like, live video show, best one. Suck it.
We are.
All right, I guess I'll answer next. I think I'm most looking forward to playing Brad, just so I can get a win against him, because I went 0-2 against him last year, and if I win against him, he can't lord that shit over me. So.
Well, did you see Casey Kurt put out his odds for your guys' for who's going to win that grouping of you guys?
Oh yeah.
Division, some would call it.
No, I didn't see it.
He had Brad first. He had you, I believe, second, and then I don't know. I can't remember. I just know that AA round was last.
Well, then Mark was third.
Anyone from the NFC, Travis, that you'd like to play?
From the NFC.
Yeah.
There's like a grouping of them from the NFC that I'd like to play. I'd like to play Luke. I'd like to play Barry. I'd like to play Nils.
Any reason why? Because the question was why.
Just because they're active in chat, and then I can trash talk them with it. That's pretty much the only reason.
It kind of is a bummer when you play a bunch of people who are fucking ghosts.
Yeah.
Sure.
Can't talk shit at all.
I like this league and setup we got where there's a lot more active people, but there are some fucking ghosts out there.
Mm-hmm.
Like, who's the Raiders? I haven't seen them in forever.
I just see him making trades. He made a trade the other day with Miami Brad.
Broncos, Chargers aren't out there very much. I mean, Kansas City Kurt looks like to be the only one in the West in the AFC. There's a whole division at. He's going to hand it to Kurt.
All right. I guess for me, in the AFC, I'm most looking forward to. I hope I play Matt, just because, you know, when the day comes when I can, and when we're in Vegas for our draft party, when I can just clock him in the face. Until that point, that's the next best thing. And then for NFC, I think I don't know. It's between Barry and Luke. Barry, just because him and I have this rivalry, this strange rivalry. I'd like to take him down. But at the same time, I kind of want to beat Luke and just have him be quiet for, a little bit. Just shut him up. So those are probably my top people. So next question. We already had this question last episode, but this is another question. Would Spencer let Ronda Rousey speed bag his ball sack for a dinner date? He just wanted to know if there was any change in this answer.
There has been no recent developments on that front.
That's the answer.
No. So we're gonna hold off on that. I'll let you know if there's any recent developments.
Get into speed bagging.
I just picture Spencer sitting on top of a wall mount with his balls ready to be speed bagged.
Fucking graphic, dude.
If you're I'm just standing and then Jean-Claude Van Damme splits and then just speed back.
All right, moving on from that question. Which system was better? The SNES or Sega Genesis?
No, I gotta go SNES. I don't think I ever really had a Sega. I know a lot of I think my neighbor and my cousin did. So I played it quite a bit. I did like it because obviously I didn't have it. But looking back in retrospect, I gotta go SNES. I just had such a stack of games. So much fun.
Yeah. I mean, I think the Super Nintendo's better. I didn't have one. I had a Sega Genesis. I played the shit out of it. But I'm pretty sure the Super Nintendo's just better.
I will go with SNES as well. I've never had a Sega Genesis, but I did play Travis's, and we rocked the shit out of one game.
So that side-scrolling fighter game?
Yeah, the side.
Oh, yeah.
Medieval fighter game. But that was it. Other than that, I think the other one takes the vote there. So, next question: do Black Lives Matter in Indiana? I think we can gloss over this one if you guys choose.
I would assume it's north of the Mason-Dixon line.
Yeah.
I'm not going to make any assumptions for Indiana, but from everything I know, they do.
Oh, shit.
I'm just gonna stick with Spencer's answer, and we're gonna pass on to that next question. Do you guys think that any more teams will trade up / back in the draft, either IFL or NFL?
Yeah. I do anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
IFL for sure, and maybe NFL. I can maybe see number 2 getting traded, but I don't know. Trades like that are way, way, way more rare in the NFL than they are in the IFL. So we'll see if Decker can get one more pick inside the top 6 before the draft happens.
Apparently, Kurt was a big fan of the Mason-Dixon line joke.
It was pretty clever, dude. I'll give you that one.
Oh shit. What else we got, Nathan?
Well, you still had to answer that question.
I think there will be a first-round draft pick traded in the NFL. I don't think it's going to be anything real early. Something where somebody jumped up from the second into the late first, kind of like we saw last year. Or was that 2 years ago? 2 years ago? With the Vikings jumping up into the 32nd pick just to get that 5th-year option on the player. I think that might be a little bit more common. As far as the XFL, I feel like it's got to happen.
No. IFL.
Sorry.
Not XFL.
Sorry.
Get your acronyms right, son.
Sorry, I'm in a lot of leagues, and unfortunately that's one of them. Moving on.
No, I didn't answer, but I was going to say I agree with the NFL statement that you just made, Spence. I think we'll see the Vikings attempt to make a move back into the first round as well. Try and sneak back in. But IFL, I think we will because I think one of the rookie owners are going to fall victim to one of the other veterans, and that just like we saw the trade go down yesterday between Brad and Oakland, where Brad gave up the 112 this year and got a first round next year. I think we're going to see probably some more of those trades, and especially with the trade that happened in the XFF's last year's rookie draft. Yep, I know, but there's a point to this where Mark gave up everything he had just to get Amari Cooper. I think we will see another one of those this year. So
I'd be excited to see some draft day trades. I don't think that happens.
I mean, I'm thinking it's going to be a draft day trade. I don't know. I think we're going to see some more of those little. I mean, granted, Brad and Damien's trade wasn't a huge trade rape per se, but I don't think it was a good trade on Oakland's end. But I think we'll probably still see a couple more of those, just because I think the rookies still haven't found the value in a lot of these picks yet. The last question on this email was, fuck, marry, kill. Travis, Spencer, Nate. Each one of you go, but subtract your own name and input Gary Busey's. So I'm going to let Spencer go first.
That is fucking rough.
Come on, Spencer.
Are you trying to get me to marry you or fuck you? I don't know.
I was rooting for kill, but take your pick, buddy.
I don't know too much about Gary Busey besides his fucking crazy head. And he had a rant. I think he had a TV show for a while, or like a reality show. I know I'm confusing him with Ted Nugent. Sorry. Fuck, I just killed Gary Busey because we don't need any more of that.
Oh, shit.
Trav, I've had fuck Yosh at the bottom. I guess Nathan and I are getting hits. Good thing he lives in Minnesota so we can make this happen.
All right. For me, I guess. I mean, well, why not? Spencer's fucking me anyway, so fuck Spencer. I'll marry Gary Busey because he's got them dollars.
Whoa!
And then I'll kill Nathan because I ain't fucking marrying my cousin, so. That's something I ain't doing.
You're just jealous of trying to kill my husband.
Oh, man. that changes my answer because that cousin factor just really.
It really puts a damper on things.
Yeah, it really puts a damper on things. I guess now that my answer has been changed by the whole cousin factor, I'm going to kill Travis. I will fuck Gary Busey, and I'm going to marry Spencer.
Oh,
I lived through all of them.
They do, guys.
All right. So our last final question in our mailbag is, if the Vikings moved from Minnesota, would you remain diehard fans if they moved to L.A., to China, to London, and to Mexico, or to Mexico? So would we remain diehard fans if they moved to any of those places?
Mexico would be number one for me. I would, not that any of this would happen, but if I had to pick one for them to go to, it'd be Mexico. I'd still be a diehard fan. Same time zone, I guess, in Mexico, where they are. Yeah, LA would be tough just because there'd be like a fucking million Vikings fans when they moved to LA. London would be tough because of time difference, but I could probably still make it work. China would be fucking bananas because that's, I think, even more of a time zone. I don't know.
who would they even play? Everybody would be like on a fucking 12-hour flip.
Yeah, that's the toughest argument of trying to get a team in London is the huge time difference.
Yeah.
One of the comments I heard on that is if they were to put a team in London, they would have to put two, which so then there would always be a game going on in London, and obviously they'd play each other twice because they'd probably be in the same division, or maybe not, probably not actually. Now I think about it, but I don't know. Whoever made that argument made a whole lot more sense than I do. But yes, I guess I'd still be a fan of all of them. China would probably be the hardest one. You get a lot of cheap Vikings jerseys though.
Yeah, I would still be a fan because I mean I grew up in South Dakota, and so I mean they're not my hometown team anyway. Like I mean they're close geographically, but I mean my family was Vikings fans. I grew up with Vikings.
Yes.
It'd be pretty hard to just turn it off when you fucking celebrate over there. But yeah, I mean it'd be hard to just like stop being a fan. I mean if they like dicked over the fan base and like where they came from and stuff, then yeah, I could see it. But I mean, if they moved and there was no hard feelings between anybody, then yeah, I'd still be a fan. So.
This one sec. I gotta make fun of Matt's Reebok shirt. I didn't know he did CrossFit as well. Apparently we lost Travis again. I would still be a diehard fan, even though, I grew up as a Steelers fan. The Vikings, as the years kind of go on, have kind of taken me away from the Steelers per se. But I think no matter where they'd move, I'd still be a fan. So, yeah, I'd be happy. So, that's all we have for questions.
Oh my god. Fucking, it's turned into a dating set over here? Oh, fucking.
Yeah.
Selfies getting posted in here.
Apparently, we just get a bunch of photos. So, I would love it if we had a guest come on. That'd be awesome to kind of fill this last little bit of time. Maybe just talk about kind of their thoughts leading into the draft. I guess I forgot to say this when I was talking about Luke's mock draft. I just kind of ranked them. The only thing I had on here was that I kind of want to talk about is, again, the fact that we differ on his QB rankings. He had Jared Goff going first in both of them and Carson Wentz going second in both of them. Obviously, he has Ezekiel Elliott going first as the running back. But what do you think about, I guess Spencer, since Travis is gone, what do you think about his next set of running backs? He's got Derrick Henry as his second overall, Kenneth Dixon, Alex Collins, and then Devontae Booker as his top 5. So do you agree with his top 5 running backs?
Again, like I
we just heard the news, I think it was this week or last week, that Derrick Henry is not even invited to the NFL draft day.
Okay, I thought he was.
I heard that he wasn't. So, meaning
Maybe
that
he wasn't attending, but he was invited.
I heard he wasn't invited. Maybe I heard that wrong.
That would be kind of surprising. I mean, you think he could get an invite purely based off the fact that he was like a Heisman Trophy winner last year, went to a big school. Not necessarily he might get the NFL attention, but the media attention behind so many of those accolades might make it worthwhile for having him in Chicago. But I guess there's not a lot of people who mock him into the first round, and I think traditionally they like to have first round players there. But that'll be interesting. I'm not sure what to think with Henry. Here a couple weeks ago, I was pretty high on Henry. I thought he'd be a person maybe worthwhile to move up for. But the more I read And again, like I said before, I don't watch a lot of college football, so I'm mostly taking other people's opinions on it. But somebody compared him to uh, Trent Richardson and Melvin Gordon in the fact that they don't create holes or look for holes. They run to where they're supposed to run, and if there's a hole, they do really well. But if not, they just run into their offensive lineman. So I'm hoping that person knows a little bit more than I do, and I'm probably going to stay away from Derrick Henry.
So I mean, this is not a confirmed source, but it was just on. Looks like the Dallas Cowboys website forum was what popped up when I searched Derrick Henry's draft invite. It says that notable wannabe top prospects snubbed by the NFL include running back Derrick Henry from Alabama and kicker Zach something from Appalachian State. So, and it says that usually it's draft prospects expected to be drafted in the first 2 rounds will attend the first day or attend draft day, NFL draft. So does that scare you away from Derrick Henry if he's been snubbed by the NFL from going to the draft day kind of, I guess, celebration per se? Does that scare you away from him in leaning that maybe the NFL has kind of a nose saying that he's not on any team's radar in those first 2 rounds?
Well, if you would have stopped reading Dallas Cowboys forums and listened to me, yes.
No.
I agree with the fact that obviously if he's not invited, it's because they don't think he's going to go in the first or second round. I think there are plenty of mocks out there that have him going in the second, but it could be. I don't think it's something you can rely on and invite him to the draft. What I did say is I thought somebody with his accolades, being a Heisman Trophy winner, playing at Alabama, would get invited. But if all the mocks and experts out there think that he's not going to be in the first round, it's pretty tough to get invited to the draft. I think it's got to be at least a pretty decent shot at being in the first round to be invited to the draft.
Yeah, and before I ask you my question about the wide receivers, can you send a quick link to the show, this hangout, to Matt, because he's balling like a little bitch, saying that he can't get in. So I'm just gonna, while you're doing that, I'll discuss. He has Laquan Treadwell still as his number 1 wide receiver. He's got Josh Doxson, Corey Coleman, and then Tyler Boyd and Sterling Shepard as his top 5, with Michael Thomas kind of falling out on that sixth spot. So what do you think about his wide receiver rankings? Do you still agree with the Treadwell as number 1, Doxson number 2, and Corey Coleman number 3? And how do you feel about Michael Thomas being shifted out of the top 5?
I'm going to let other people spend up for Treadwell. Obviously, not spending up if you have the pick already, but I wouldn't move up to get him. There's just too many question marks. I shouldn't say question marks, but kind of some small red flags to be expending that level of draft capital into a player that didn't run at the combine and kind of ran a pretty poor 440, pretty poor 40. And a lot of these players are going to depend where they land. If somebody comes to the Vikings, I love the Vikings, but as you saw with Stephon Diggs, granted he's not a first-round talent, I just don't think that they're going to have a huge fantasy impact. That's one example. I mean, if you go to somebody like the Texans, they have, I guess there's a little bit of room there because there's no tight end really present in that offense, and they do have no real opening or no real other threat besides Hopkins. But it all depends on the system, especially for a wide receiver. I mean, if you're going to show up and be an automatic wide receiver 1, kind of like...
What's up, boys?
Yeah, there we go.
Finally, huh?
Is that salmon-colored shirt? Are you wearing a salmon?
No, it is light red.
Salmon is very California.
Matches your hair.
Hey, thank you. Excellent beer, sir.
So Decker,
How we doing?
Because we are the league's premier number 1 live video show. We just want to get your reaction
Since the last Rippin' and Tearin', yeah.
to your and Casey Kurt's epic battle today on our Slack chat. Could you give us a little insider information on your thoughts on the whole scenario?
You know what? It was a huge misunderstanding is the bottom line there. I misworded a statement, and I think Kurt, you know, being the awesome troll that he is, thought I was trying to come at him, when in reality I was just trying to talk to him a little bit, and my wording escalated it, and once he got going and I got going, there was no stopping that train. So, you know, I'll put the blame on me on that one. That's what had happened. At the end of the day, I was trying to get his Rams take, but I said something a little wrong or worded it a little wrong where he thought I was talking shit when I wasn't. So that's how that escalated.
Actually, I'd like to chime in because he's
All right,
showing
yeah,
and
because
soft.
we asked you, Matt.
I knew you'd like
But
that.
go ahead.
You know what?
But go ahead
You're
and take
lucky I'm here.
our time.
Fucking ratings
Go ahead.
boost, you son of a bitch.
Hi.
That's right. Hi, she says. There you go. There you go. Ratings boost, motherfucker. Okay? All right? They're both assholes. Next question.
Next question. I had one, but I am blanking on it here.
Way to be prepared.
Matt, what are
I had it, but then you interrupted.
Say that again, Spencer. I couldn't hear you.
What are your thoughts on nobody picking you for winning the NFC or AFC North?
I give two shits about that because you and your 47 fucking tight ends are about to find out, dude, what happens when you piss off a fucking blackbird. Next question.
The next question is to Decker. Decker, do you feel uncomfortable in public with that man's tight tee?
You know, the problem here is I do, but, you know, I also feel like I almost have a bodyguard slash, you know, it looks like we could be gay lovers in my salmon shirt and his tight tee. So no one's really going to mess with us either. So we're golden.
So what you're saying is you're bottom and he's top.
No, I did not say that, actually. Thanks, Nate.
Because he's wearing a tight tee and you're salmon, I would assume that you're going to be bottom for sure and he's going to be top.
You know, let's ask Luke about this, but I feel like
Salmon
the
swim
roles are
upstream.
normally reversed from what people think.
Salmon swim upstream. I like that little fucking, it's a little video there for you.
All right, so Decker, you're in the AFC. You've obviously looked over some of the rosters for, I guess, AFC closely because of your trading potentials. Who do you think is going to win the AFC North?
The AFC North, you know what? I'll be honest with you, 100% honest. I haven't looked over the NFC North too much. I've been looking at the AFC North. I've been looking at the AFC West because that's the division I'm in, and that's what I'm focused on right now. So I haven't taken a big analysis at the AFC North.
So essentially, what the league, this is everyone in the league. Listen, Decker has just announced that he's a trash owner, that he's not paying attention to the rest of his.
I don't think that makes me a trash owner. That makes me very aware of my division first, which is what you have to win first off. You got to win your division to make it on, or wild card. But I'm looking to win my division, so therefore I'm looking at my division solely. I'll get into that a little later, but at this moment, I want to win mine.
Yeah, so I'm glad you're holding the phone for me, dude, because I got something to fucking say about this shit, dude. You know what? I don't give a two rats' asses. There's two rats' asses. Kurt's fucking rat ass, your rat ass, or his rat ass.
That's three.
Yeah, that is three. That is three. I count good after fucking IPA. All right, hey.
What grade do you go to in California?
I stopped in 4.
Okay.
Shh. Let's not talk about that. Hey, look, here's the fact of the matter. Is that fucking Spencer was 1-15 last year, and I don't give a shit, dude, if he fucking improved his team or not. The fact of the matter is that AFC North is mine. He's got to come get it, and his starting 5 can't beat my starting 5 fucking the first 3 weeks, dude. And everyone knows that El Raven will never stop until Spencer is 2-14 this year. Next question.
We actually have a question, or not even a question, it's a statement from the Slack board. Tampa Luke says that Matt is definitely paying for Decker's clothes. Can we get a comment on that statement?
This shirt was free from the race. I ain't paying for that. Next question.
Bro, I'm fucking styling, all right? You don't know me. Look at those socks. I got this, okay?
Okay,
No one's paying for shit.
Our show has kind of gone downhill since you guys joined.
Absolutely.
Your friends
Horrible
are
idea to have us on.
Hi.
These guys,
What's up,
you
guys?
guys are fucking
Hey.
famous, dude.
Get
You
in
guys
here.
are gonna get
You're
more
totally
hits now
famous.
than you've ever got.
Yes,
Oh,
definitely.
This is big news,
They get
yeah.
about 3 million hits a year.
Really?
Yeah.
It's true.
They're fucking awesome. What's your name?
I'm Lorena. That's right.
Malena.
Okay. Okay. They're gonna need you on their show. All right. There you go. Thanks for the ratings boost, assholes.
Yep.
Next.
I guess the only other question that we have for you guys is, of the Educated Guesses show, who do you guys put as, if you had to rank us 1, 2, and 3, where do you guys put us?
Travis Nate Spencer. Next.
Well,
Yeah,
that's got to answer.
You know what? Unfortunately for you, I agree with that. That's how I'd rank it.
All right, Decker, I'm
Hey,
done.
wait a
I'm
minute.
done
I got a
helping
question.
you.
Hey, you know what? Maybe Spencer's tight end strategy pays off, but I've looked over and over, and you know what? Bird in the hand. So good to you, Spencer. That may work out, but at the moment, that's the ranking. Spencer's last. Sorry,
That's right.
Spence.
And I just want to go on record right now. I'll take anybody's bet. If you're gonna fucking take Spencer over me, dude, I got $100 per bet. Bam. Period. Done.
Is that out of Decker's clothing budget?
I hope you better fucking call me Spencer. There better be $100 bet on the fucking board 5 minutes from now. Yeah, keep drinking. You're gonna need
all
that.
right. Cool fire. So before you guys hopped on, because we only got a couple minutes left in our show, just to appease the audience.
Do you guys have a time limit?
I got a kiss like a pregnant woman.
Well, because I think it was Nick. Nick was the one who said he doesn't like to listen to shows over an hour. We like to try and
Fucking Nick.
keep the crowd happy.
I love Nick and his sausage eating ass, but he can shut the fuck up. Next.
Okay. So we were reviewing Luke's. I kind of summarized his mock drafts into rankings based on where he put people.
Yeah.
So here's his top 5 running backs for you guys. So he's got Ezekiel Elliott, Derrick Henry, Kenneth Dixon, Alex Collins, and Devontae Booker. How do you guys feel about the top 5 there? Is that in the correct order? And then second part of this question, and that I just talked to Spence about, is how do you feel about Derrick Henry being not invited to the NFL draft day?
So I'll start on this one. I think, first off, these rankings, they look good on paper, but at the end of the day, it's all going to depend on where they go. And we even look at last year's draft with David Johnson, Carlos Williams, who, of course, Brad ended up drafting. But at the end of the day, it's all about the fit and injuries. So I think it's really hard to give a number 1, number 2, number 3 to 5 based on that. I think Ezekiel is guaranteed number 1. Derrick Henry, if he goes to a team like the Cowboys, could be a stud. And also, his criticisms are the fact that he's not quick enough. Those are things you can work on. He's not elusive enough. Those are things you can work on. With the other guys, there's fumble problems, there's injury problems. But still, at the end of the day, it all depends on where they go, who's in front of them, and what that situation is. So I'm going to hold off on answering that, but I'm going to say Z is number 1. That's right, and that's where I stop.
Before Matt starts in here, you said you can work on elusiveness?
Yeah, you absolutely can. You get some ladders out, you do some cone drills.
Because he hasn't done any of that from high school in college, and so once he gets NFL, he can improve his elusiveness drastically enough to make him...
You can pay a lot more for a good trainer once you're getting paid.
Yeah. Okay, I forgot. Trainers make a world of difference.
They make something, man. They do. You got to look into that.
Tickets, Decker. Matt, you're up.
Okay, first off,
All right.
razors make a world of difference. But, the guy that I have that is on the bottom of that top 5, that I'm going to put at number 2, is Booker. I think he's fucking higher than anyone else fucking thinks he is. I got a feeling he's going to be sitting there at number 7 because this fucking guy has fucking 3 of the fucking first 6 picks. I don't see fucking Jason taking them, so I'm high on him. And, the only other thing I'm going to say about this is I would love, and when I say love, I mean fucking love, to see Zeke or Henry go to Dallas so that fucking somebody named that running back from Washington, Morris, ends up being useless. Only because I love you so much, Nathan.
What? Oh, Alfred Morris?
Yeah, the steal of the draft, right, buddy? Yeah, right behind
I
Tony
was not the
Romo
one
at
who was
2.5.
like hyping me up after I made that pick. I got him, and everyone else was like, as soon as the news came out, Nathan, steal the draft. I never came out and said, "Oh man, that was my plan all along. I'm gonna get the steal of the draft." No, I said I'm gonna go after him just strictly because of speculative rumors that he's gonna go. So
You did a good job. You did a good job. Steal the draft was Tony Romo, not fucking Morris.
Okay.
Stop patting yourself on the back.
Okay. I'll disagree with you on Booker. I think Booker's, again, he's got an age factor to him. He does have a little bit of an injury factor. But I think he's a little low on Matt's rankings. The next question is, just to kind of wrap up our show and our interview with you two, is we got an interesting question tonight from the audience was fuck, kill, marry between Spencer, Travis, and I. So we're going to ask that same question to you two. So who would you fuck, who would you kill, and who would you marry of Travis, Spencer, and I?
I'm gonna fucking kill Nate. All right?
Was that a question?
Yeah.
I mean, I kind of knew that one coming.
I'm gonna fuck Spencer in his ear hole, and I'm gonna marry Travis because I think we could have good conversation.
All right. I am going to kill Spencer because, for no other reason than the fact that I don't talk to him as much as you two. And then I am going to... Let's go with fuck Travis.
I was going to say fuck Travis because you just fucked him in a trade.
I don't think that was a fuck at all. I think depending on how my season turns out, I may have got fucked. But, it's reciprocal, so we'll play that card. And then, let's get married, Jacksonville, because you suck and I'll be better, so we're good to go.
Decker, there's no way. I'm gonna finish above you, just like I did last year.
Okay.
All right.
What's up?
We're out.
All right.
Hey,
guys.
thank you, boys.
guys.
Thanks for having us on.
Good show.
All right. See ya.
All right, let's check
Oh,
that.
we got a close up of Decker's face. Can you mute him? I'll mute him. All right. So that was Decker and Matt, if you guys didn't know. We're still on Decker's face. We're in the club. So, Spence, anything you would like to finish up on the show?
This will probably be my last episode, hopefully in this room. Moving down to the office finally.
To the Educated Guesses studio?
Yep. Or my office, one of the two. That should hopefully, if I get some time this weekend, finish it off. I just got some trim left. So new surroundings for next episode. I guess if we're going off our every other week that we've been hoping to do in the off season here, our next show will be during the draft. I'm not sure if that's a great idea, but
how about we just proposition this to both NFL commissioners or IFL commissioners?
we could get Medallion on this.
We, the Educated Guesses, would be more than happy to host your IFL, the first ever IFL draft show, and bring in guests. Since we kind of know the layout of Google Hangouts and we know how to kind of manage the system.
And we don't need to pre-record everything.
Yep, and we don't need to pre-record everything like Matt's show. We would like to throw our name in the hat to be the IFL Premier Draft Show. So we will announce all the picks of the first round for sure, and we will bring in each and every owner for an interview on why they selected the player they did, and kind of I guess, a brief analysis of why they did. So I think that's a good idea for the IFL. Put some pressure off the commissioner. Put some pressure on us to kind of make it happen.
Some code on. Need some Mel Kuypers up in here.
Yeah. So commissioners, make it happen.
Just do it.
Oh yeah, we can just do it. So we are going to do, to Luke, who just asked a question, we want to do the IFL draft show.
I was talking about the NFL because 2 weeks.
Well, we can do both. Let's do both.
That's also what I said.
Okay, we're doing both. I'm 4 beers deep into this thing. 4 like double IPAs deep into this thing tonight. Well, I haven't been listening to you a whole lot.
I can tell. It's real nice when there's 2 of us.
Yeah. So, commissioners, hit us up. We're going to do it no matter what. If you say yes or no, we're going to be on. And for the NFL draft, we're going to be on anyway. So hit us up. That's our next Educated Guesses show. That's all I got. I need to pull up the outro, so Spence distract him a little bit while I pull it up.
Yeah, so NFL draft show next week. That'll be fun, especially considering I don't have the NFL Network or cable right now. So, but I'll figure something out. I'll bootleg it. Like I mentioned before, hopefully be in a little bit of a new setup here. Have more than one screen, which would be nice. So I'm not constantly tabbing or looking down at my tablet. So we're just getting into preseason form, getting ready for the season.
Oops.
We only play for keeps. No free throws, no reps, no penalties,
Oh,
no
my
handouts,
God.
no pits.
I'm sorry. I'm failing miserably with tonight.
But if anybody has anything they want to ask us, our email is educateguessesshow at gmail.com, or email one of us individually, or Slack chat us, or post it in the Educated Guesses thread on Slack. Or if you want to become a guest, like you saw earlier, we're pretty casual. Decker and Matt just kind of joined in. I'd love to hear from some of the ghosts in the league.
Who's some of the ghosts, Spencer, if you had to just guess?
We want to do a rundown. I'm not sure if my...
Just pick, like, off the top of your head, who's a ghost?
Oakland and Denver. Hold on, I can give you the full rundown here in a second.
I'm just going to say, I would like to see Eric of the Colts be on once in a while.
Danny of the Bengals.
Danny of the Bengals. Pretty much all the new owners.
Peru of the Texans.
New Orleans, Carlos. I know you're in Brazil, but come on, buddy.
Well, I think a more realistic one is Jason. I know before he had to use a calling card to call into Blog Talk, but
Jason's been on the Slack chat all the time.
No, I know, but I'd still like to see him on a video show.
Oh, yeah. Jason, hit me up. We're on our show.
Let's see who else we got here. Mac, Wade, the guy who refused to trade me the Vikings when there was 15 people in this league. Some fun ones would be, I'd like to see Brian of the Cowboys. I'd like to see Nils. These guys are around all the time, but I'd like to see them. And Josh, just because he's so loud, I'd like to.
Yeah. It's not so much that we don't think that you're on the Slack board. It's we want to put a face to a name.
Yeah, pretty much anybody who I haven't seen their face already. Let's get those guys in here. Anybody who doesn't have a show, who I don't listen to too often, and anybody new. Anything else?
Nah, I'm good.
All right, let's roll that outro.
Okay, you screen sharing me? I gotta. One sec, boys.
How much must I repeat? We only play for keeps. No timeouts, no free throws, no refs, no penalties, no handouts, no pit stops, no cheat codes, no sleep. But the drinks are on us. If you with it, then pull up a seat.
Let's hug it out, bitch.